Hello and welcome to Oh the Horror. I'm Fedora, and why do people watch horror movies? Is it perhaps to see the pointless slaughter of innocents? I know that's why I watch them. But seriously, they do it to see their favourite slashers just do what they do best. Show tits, spill blood, and cause carnage. And that's what makes horror quite a unique genre, because most of the time, it's evil that ends up prevailing. But what happens if you find yourself in a position where you don't want that to happen? Where you want that character to survive to the end of the movie and all of its sequels? Well, this top 5 is all about the protagonists that have a little more effort put into them. This is the top 5 horror heroes.
Number 5.
Father Magruder from Brain Dead.
Brain Dead, or Dead Alive as it's known in America, was a 1992 comedy horror zombie movie written and directed by Peter Jackson, and is in many opinions the top contender for goriest movie ever made. While Father Magruder is not a main character and isn't really even in that much of the movie, his inclusion to this list is all thanks to one very popular scene, and it is without a doubt the best scene in the movie.
I kick ass for the Lord!
Yeah! This crazy Kiwi priest out of nowhere just goes kung fu on these zombies, pummeling them to pieces with his bare hands. Unfortunately, it comes to an end with his bad luck-fueled demise, but while it lasted, Father Magruder did indeed kick ass for the Lord. Number 4.
Sidney Prescott from Scream.
I love the Scream movies. Yes, even 4 if you ignore the killer's piss-weak motive. The best part of them was how they were set in the real world, where horror movies are just horror movies, where the cliches are known and glorified, and the people dying felt more like a loss. And this can be said no truer than with the series protagonist, Sydney, played by Neve Campbell. Sydney never really comes off as a damsel in distress, and while she is truly terrified by the constant attacks by the Ghostface killers, she never lets it truly defeat her in life. Yet at the same time, she doesn't just brush it off either like some other horror heroines. We see her being affected by it all. We see the mental and physical scars, but we also see her strength. And it's that strength that allows her to continue to fight. And with Scream's real-world setting, the feeling that everything is on the line is more present than ever. Number 3.
Dr. Sam Loomis from Halloween.
The arch-enemy and old psychiatrist of cursed serial killer Michael Myers, Dr. Sam Loomis makes his presence in the franchise known thanks to the atmospheric performance of Donald Pleasance.
It was pure evil.
In the original, Loomis was a man on a mission to reclaim the escaped Michael Myers, but while everyone considered him to be just a man on the run, Loomis knew better. He knew that the devil was hiding in Haddonfield, and over the franchise run, we saw Loomis slowly sink deeper into obsession, coming to the point where one could argue that he was becoming just as dangerous as Michael. But at his core, Loomis is a good man that only wants to see the evil inside Myers locked away from the innocent. And it's thanks to him and his knowledge on Michael's mind that 9 times out of 10 ends up saving the day. Number 2.
Ellen Ripley from Aliens.
A crew member of the civilian space freighter Nostromo, and played by Sigourney Weaver, so that's already a double plus, Ripley's life was changed forever when the crew brought aboard the first alien facehugger, currently attached to crewmate number 6. Once hatched, the stealthy creature systematically killed off the entire crew, save for Ripley herself. Like what I said about Sydney, Ripley has tremendous strength in the face of the creatures that haunt her every waking moment and her sleeping nightmares. But then again, she has no choice but to involve herself with them. For if she doesn't, the aliens will fall into the hands of the government that plan to replicate them for military purposes. And after seeing what they're capable of firsthand, Ripley would rather die, and actually does, before allowing that to happen. So in addition to everything else, Ripley develops into a natural-born leadership role, an expert on all things alien, and the person most capable of keeping everyone alive during an attack. It doesn't always work out, but she's still awesome. Number 1.
Brodsky from Jason.
No, I'm just kidding. It's Ash Williams from Evil Dead. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Bruce Campbell is a total badass. And none of his on-screen interpretations have been more synonymous with that statement than Ash Williams. Once an average, albeit larrikin ladies' man shopkeeper at the department store S-Mart, Ash's life was turned upside down while visiting an isolated cabin in the woods. While there, he and his friends found the Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead, and after reading it, unleashed the evil Deadite hordes. Initially, Ash was a victim, but his over-the-top physical stunts quickly made him the life of the show. And by the time the second movie came around, Ash had enough of playing nice, so equipped with a chainsaw for a hand and his trusty boomstick, he went around slaying the evil Deadites with a grin on his face and a wisecrack on his lips.
I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. And Jack left town.
Ash is a joy to watch. And that joy is all tribute to the as-mentioned physical comedy and devil-may-care acting of Bruce Campbell and the perfectly matched writings of Sam Raimi. A combination that launched the franchise and the character to cult classics and icons of the horror genre.
Well, now that that's all over with, I can finally drench myself of all the putrid goody-goody and delve right back into a pool of cesspool blood and monstrosity. For next week's show, that is. Until then, I'm Fedora, this is Oh the Horror, save your screams, and we'll see you next time.